You can almost just kind of see the dynamics, shall we say, in the atmosphere. We see the kind of clouds moving that quickly, the fire weather, the tornadoes. I mean, spring is one of those, especially March is one of those months where we start to transition, but we have a lot of things in the mix where we can have fire weather, active severe weather, and still cold and snow. And so very, very active for many parts of the country. And we're getting in the mix today, but for us, luckily, the severe weather threat is much more localized, much more isolated compared to the widespread severe weather that, especially all across the deep south, we have been dealing with Friday and into Saturday. And so for the day today, our normal high is 78. We're going to be just a touch above average. It's been mild out there this morning. We just showed you the clouds. We're going to keep the clouds with us. The winds are going to continue as well, but we still have this, we'll call it pleasantly warm afternoon. Not a ton of sunshine is going to be in place for today, but we at least kind of have the first half of the day before the storms will start to move through the local area. I did want to mention, though, the tornado watch has now been extended a little bit more into parts of eastern Florida, up from, say, just north of Daytona Beach through Jacksonville, St. Augustine areas, and they started to include some of our northern spots. So none of our Tampa Bay area locations included in that, but as we get up into parts of Citrus County and further up into the Nature Coast and the Big Bend, this tornado watch now runs until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So it's this initial line of storms along the cold front that will be able to produce some strong to severe storms. And so while the severe threat is isolated, you see we're kind of on the southern edge of this, and all of these states in yellow that extend all the way up to the northeast and really riding along the Atlantic coast. This is where we're going to focus the potential for some stronger storms through the day today, and then we're kind of finally done with the severe weather threat on Monday. So St. Patrick's Day is going to feature some cooler temperatures, but we'll be done with the severe weather threat. But here you see where we have the slightly higher chance for some isolated storms. So Pinellas, Hillsborough, and areas to the north of Tampa Bay, we're in this slight risk for some severe storms, and then that threat kind of tapers off as we head into Sarasota, Sebring, Lakeland areas, where overall it's going to be kind of that weakening line of storms. Overall, that initial boundary is going to be able to spark up the strongest storms. And so really our biggest threats are going to be the high winds, but also there will be some heavy rain that comes down, and the tornado threat is very low, but we still have to talk about the potential for maybe an isolated tornado, but especially favoring those areas just to the north of us where we do have that tornado watch in effect. But as we look at Sky Tower radar, you can see where this cold front boundary is. It extends from basically South Carolina all the way through Georgia. Valdosta right now in the mix, and we're starting to see all of that heavy rain pushing out of Tallahassee. And so this is going to be making its way pretty quickly further to the east. And so here's a look at the timing of it. The clouds stay with us. You see these winds coming in out of the south and southeast. Those winds pick up even more so as we get past around noon. So as we fast forward to noon, 1 o'clock, that's when this will start to pick up for Citrus, Pasco, Hernando counties. And I think between 3 and 4 o'clock, that's the most likely timing where this heavy rain will start to move into Clearwater, St. Pete, Tampa areas. Then that continues through the evening hours. So we'll watch, say, 6, 7 o'clock, that to push further south into Sarasota, Manatee counties, and then through sunset, our inland areas are going to continue to deal with the storminess and the heavy rain. That then clears out overnight. And so by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, all the storms kind of pushing off the east coast, the clouds will start to clear out as well. Notice the winds, though. We'll still have this kind of wind coming in out of the north tomorrow morning. And so as it is going to be a little bit cooler out there for our St. Patrick's Day, we'll certainly notice that extra chill as we still deal with those breezes and those cooler breezes out of the north. And so for the day today, that warm wind, 10 to 20 miles per hour, and the potential for gusts into the 30s for the afternoon and evening, but still highs in the upper 70s to low 80s all across the area. Wanted to quickly show you our marine forecast, where we do have a small craft advisory through this evening, and we'll remain choppy on the bay on Monday before we start to build in just a moderate chop, winds calming down just a bit by Tuesday and especially past Tuesday. Still cloudy tonight. Temperatures are going to be cooler as we bottom out in the low 60s and then mid 50s as we head north and inland. And then look at highs tomorrow, right around 68 for our high in Tampa. Most spots tomorrow, they're going to top out with high temperatures in the mid and upper 60s, but at least the sun shines back out, and then we've gradually warmed things back to seasonal for the middle of the week.